Hi everyone, so I am super excited to do this reveal today. One of my lovely friends sent me this deck. I have been on the fence about purchasing this deck for so long now. Um, it's one I've really been drawn to, but I know that many of you feel this way too. Once you've been collecting for a while, you know, you really try to edit yourself on what you end up choosing to purchase. And I already had, or have, excuse me, the Tarot of Haunted House by the same artist. And so I was like very tentative about, like, I don't know, for the price point, which is about 32 bucks on Amazon for this Llewellyn deck. I was like, I'm not sure if this is going to be worth it, or if I already have the deck that I really love by this artist. So the artist is Abigail Larson, and it's the Darkwood Tarot by Sasha Graham with art by Abigail Larson. So I've been waiting, and so she very lovingly and kindly sent this to me. So we're going to open it up together today and kind of go through the cards together and just get our first impressions on the Darkwood Tarot. So as I said, the price point is a little bit steep for a mass-produced tarot deck at this point. But the back says, entering the wood is easy, leaving is a different matter. How will you emerge? Dare to enter the Darkwood and discover your shadow self with this enthralling Rider-Waite-Smith style deck. As you take on the role of a witch traversing the wood, each magnificent card becomes a vision of deep wisdom that guides you to a richer understanding of yourself. Examine secret desires and shadowy dreams. Explore the unknown recesses of your psyche. This captivating deck and full-color companion book leads you through the darkness and into the light that reflects your hidden talents and personal power. So sounds like it will be great for shadow work, etc., which many of us are exploring this time of year. The box is nice and sturdy, which is very nice because oftentimes Llewellyn's boxes have been awful for me. And then this is what the inside looks like. It's beautiful. Pause, sip of tea. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, this is like a really nice sized guidebook. Let me tell you. Let's see what we got here, guys. 291 pages, full color. Oh my gosh, I'm getting excited, guys. Oh my gosh, I feel so lucky. Thank you so much to my wonderful friend who sent this to me. So it looks like if you're a beginner, this is definitely one you can pick up and start with. There's good information at the beginning of the guidebook. I will, of course, do a full review later on. You guys know that I don't do reviews. When I open a deck, you've got to spend time with the deck in order to understand how you're going to work with it and its personality for you. Okay, so I thought when I opened it there was like a random card left there, but that's just the bottom. Card size is, here's Rider-Waite-Smith, a little bit smaller than the Pamela Coleman-Smith edition. I like the backing. I almost wish it didn't have the DW. I wish it was just kind of like plain, but as you can tell, it certainly matches the color theme mood that I'm in this fall, so that's convenient for me. I don't know about you guys, but I always have to be so careful when I take the shrink wrap off of the deck itself because I am, in true Taurus fashion, a little bit clumsy and will accidentally damage my deck if I'm not careful. All right, super slippery. You guys know that that's like kind of a pet peeve of mine when it comes to cards. Yeah, super slippery, but it's typical like Llewellyn feel. It's kind of what I would expect from them. So I'm not surprised by that. Okay, we're just going to go through, and we might even go through all of them, which I normally don't do. All right, so I can tell there's going to be some that I really love and some that I kind of struggle with. I love this High Priestess. She's like absolutely beautiful. There's the Empress. Love the Emperor. Oh, this Hierophant kind of reminds me of the Shadowscapes, the Shadowscapes Tarot. I'll have to pull that deck out. And here's the Lovers. Interesting. Very simple. Like, I think if you were new to tarot, this would definitely wouldn't be too overwhelming to start with. Chariot's a very simple rendition of that. I mean, you definitely get the feeling that you're out in the woods, right? Or maybe you're a little bit lost. Love this image. Obviously, this is the one that's on the tuck box. There's Wheel of Fortune. It's a Justice card. Ooh, I like the Hanged Man, guys. Look at that. Death. Which, like, on the whole, I like. Temperance almost has the kind of a tower feel behind it, doesn't it? Like she's the gateway between the tower and the woods. Okay, Devil's not my fave. Yeah, and this actually looks kind of similar, doesn't it? Here's the actual tower card. Looks kind of similar. There's the Star. Oh, I like the Moon, guys. Look at that one. And the Sun is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you definitely get that kind of fairy tale feel. There's Judgment. Like that. In the World. We've got, I'm going to try to go a little bit faster here. There's the Ace of Wands. The Two of Wands is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. Three of Wands looks like there's blood dripping from her mouth almost. I wonder if that's supposed to be blood magic, or there's definitely a lot you can get out of these cards, much like Tarot of Haunted House, or I always get the name of that wrong. Tarot of Haunted House. I have the guidebook down there, so because in videos I forget the name of that deck, which I dearly love. But there's a lot in that deck. It's deceptively simple at first, and as you start to work with it, you definitely get a lot more out of the artwork. I know for the workshop I just taught on the Vampire's Kiss, some of the ladies were using that deck, and all of them said that there was so much more for them to find in the cards than they had originally realized when they first started working with the deck. So far I like the Suit of Wands. I don't know, do you guys want me to keep going? Here's the Ace of Cups. There's Two of Cups. So we definitely have a border going on, but it's not too irritating. I don't mind it. The Cups suit is much more animalistic, which is interesting. So 6. Like that one. 7. Oh, interesting. There's no person in the Eight of Cups. Oh, I'm sorry. There's a snake, though. There's a 9. All right, now we do have people depicted in the court cards, though. Not my favorite depiction of the Queen of Cups ever. I like the King, though. Okay, now we're moving on to the swords. Looks like we've got people again. I like this Two of Swords. Three of Swords with a spider. That's interesting. I like the 4. 5 is fascinating there. That knife in the back. 6. 7. I like the 8 of Swords. Damn, that's a good one. Looks like a vulture. I like that 8 of Swords. I like this 9. And the 10. I'm trying to go as fast as I can, guys, but still get a look at it. So if you're new, you can definitely work. If you're new to tarot, you can definitely work with this deck. It's not going to catch you off guard, at least in the imagery. Interesting. Pentacles are the apple. Which we could draw a lot of references there from that. So that makes sense to me. So interesting, this 6, huh, guys? Oh, see, their decks are so slippery. Such a pet peeve of mine. Oh, I like the 7 though, guys. Look at the 7. You guys know the 7 and the 9 of Pentacles are like big deals for me in a deck. Not my favorite 9 of Pentacles, but it's okay. Interesting that she's like a bat, or she has bat wings. It's the 10, and we've got the page, the Knight. I feel the Queen of Pentacles is accurate. And then the King. Oh, I like that King. Okay, so that's the deck. And I think as a way to kind of do things a little bit differently, I'm going to show you how I clear a deck today with the Darkwood Tarot deck. When you first purchase the deck, or any time that you feel like you need to clear or cleanse the energy of your deck, there are different techniques that you can use to do that. So I am going to show you how I do that right now, and then I'll talk about my final thoughts of my first look of the deck. So I just want to say before we start doing the clearing process, I'm like never really show you guys this. This is the table where I work at. Before we start the clearing or the cleansing process of a deck, I just want to say a few things. A lot of times we might feel kind of pressure or some type of peer pressure in the community that we have to have some type of, some fancy tools to do this work, or that we need to, purchase a bunch of things in order to do this work. And the truth is that we really don't need to spend a lot of money in order to have a very powerful spiritual practice using shamanic tools, like the the elements, as many of us as witches choose to use. So I do work elementally, and I like to work with smoke for the process of clearing my decks. Now, because I read professionally, I clear working decks after every single reading. Not every deck in my collection after every reading, but whatever deck it is that I use. So I have a daily clearing process, but I read professionally, so I use my decks every day of the week. If it's a personal deck and I'm only using it for personal readings that week, then of course I do not clear that deck every time. However, when I do feel called to clear a deck, I will clear my deck. I think it's really important, and this is rambly. This is going to be a rambly part of the video, clearly. I do think it's really important to keep the energy very clearly, the reader's energy, connected to the deck, not multiple querents or clients. And so I'm very aware of energetic clearing for my decks. I think it's a really important part of the process. How you clear your deck is really up to what feels good to you. And if you're new to doing this type of work, whether it's any type of pagan ritual practice or reading cards themselves, you want to play around with what feels right for you. So what I have found over the years is that working with the element of air and fire together through the smoking process, for me, and with my shamanic roots in healing, in energetic healing work, I really like the way that this combines to help clear a deck energetically. I'm going to show you a part of my cleansing process. I do have a part of that that's personal to me that I won't share, but again, you should feel empowered to explore your own way of clearing your deck, of keeping the energy very sacred and very much able to be a channel between you and the divine higher self. So for this, all that you'll need is a candle, if you want to use that, or a lighter or matches, depending on where you fall on this. You may not be okay with using a lighter. You may only want to use matches. I know some witches are like that. I prefer to use a lighter just because it's a little bit easier with my, how busy my life is. And then you can use Palo Santo or sage. You can get this very reasonably priced online or at any local kind of witchy store. Most places, I think you might even be able to find sage bundles in the supermarket now. Like it's pretty well established as something that most of us use for clearing. And you want to set, and the most important thing I can say to you, even outside of your tools, is your intention. So you really want your intention to be very clear that the cleansing process you're doing is clearing out any other energy besides yours and the divine's. So the intention is really key. It's the most important part of this. And you want to take a moment to connect into the feel of the deck itself. So we've already looked at the artwork. As I'm preparing to connect with my deck, I'm thinking about how the deck feels to me as a personality. What did I experience as I was looking at the imagery? What were the feelings that came up for me? Or maybe memories or images or a sense of closeness that I might have felt to specific images or specific cards in the deck. And I'm just setting the intention that I'm connecting with this deck. You could look at it as in each and every chakra or throughout the chakra system. You could look at it as connecting with the deck across time and space, or just connecting with the energies and the entities associated with the deck itself and you and your spirit tribe's energy. But you just want to take a moment to connect in with, setting an intention that you're working together, because this is a sacred tool that's going into your repertoire. And so being able to access it, you want that channel to be clear, and also the intention that you set really sets the tone for the relationship. So now the other thing that I like to do is I like to touch each and every single card every time I reset, clear, or cleanse a deck. So you're going to see me, I'm going to set up 5 to 7 piles, and I'm just going to go through and touch every card and rearrange them. It's something that I do so many times in a day. It's a very meditative, relaxing practice for me. But you can decide for yourself what number feels sacred to you. I do think there's something about the first time you start working with a deck, your first cleanse, to touch every card is important. And you will see at the end, I will put the deck together. There's a little ritual I will do to connect in with the deck at heart chakra. And then I will knock my deck 3 times. I will do a reverse symbol to clear the deck. I will knock my deck 3 times, and then I will do the symbol upright so that I have connected in with the energy of the deck and amplified the maybe transmission service, we could say. So I have my Sage and Palo Santo. Nag Champa is also a nice option as well. And I believe for this deck, we're going to do pile of 5. So you see, I just lay it down. I mean, this is so simple, guys. And you can see, even from my first videos on YouTube, I've simplified this ritual even more. But there's something about the process of touching each and every card that feels really good. And also in this first layout, I'm really able to look at the images and see the colors and the tones, the feel of this deck. The colors and tones are very important to me in getting to know a deck. So there's definitely a feeling of sacred animal energy in this deck, as well as myth and fairy tale of like Sleeping Beauty, Little Red Riding Hood, the Wicked Stepmother, and of course we see Pan or the Devil here quite a bit as well. I love the use of yellow ochre and the bright crimson red with the grays. It's really, really beautiful. So I have my pile set up. I've touched every card. I've looked at them. If I was doing this alone, obviously I wouldn't be talking out loud. So now I'm going to go ahead and light my my smoke for the clearing process. You can choose what you want. I find that sage is the best at clearing for me, and Palo Santo amplifies. So I usually start with sage, and I really pay attention to how much smoke goes on here in the clearing process. So just want to blow that out. Be careful of any fire or smoke alarms in the house, excuse me, as you're doing this. And you see I'm just kind of in a reverse circular motion, clearing this energy, clearing this energy. And as I'm doing that, that's what I'm affirming in my head, that I'm clearing this deck of anyone's energy except for mine, connecting with it and the energy of the forest. And then I like to kind of wrap the deck in smoke as well. and then I have to do my first shuffle. It's like an essential part. Before I do my last connecting in with the deck, I have to do just a Llewellyn cardstock. I really wish they would improve it. I just have to do this quick process right there. It just feels better for me. And then I like to just put the deck here on my heart chakra, connecting in with the deck's energy and my own. Feeling in for like the elements that I feel the closest to this deck, which very much for me is earth and fire. And just setting an intention that our work is for the good of all, harming none. So that is how I clear a deck. You can see we have like the added benefit of the sun coming in too, so that's giving it another elemental clearing process. And then I like to charge it. Now that I've cleared it, let's charge it. And we're going to do that with Palo Santo. This would be a great time, like off camera, I'll do my getting to know you deck spread for this deck so that I can get to know what the deck wants to teach me and what we're here to work together on. So just doing that same thing, kind of just wrapping the deck in the Palo Santo smoke. And that is how I clear a deck. Okay, so final thoughts on the Dark Red Tarot. I'm really, really excited to work with her. I'm actually super excited to spend some time tonight with the guidebook and to really go through, take notes. I think I'm actually going to start a separate journal for this deck and really play with getting to know her at a very, very deep level. And really, taking notes on the guidebook, making sure that I'm understanding their point of view as the creators of the deck, and the symbolism that may have shifted in this deck in regards to reading. I'm really excited to work with this deck on the whole, guys. The usual irritations for me with Llewellyn aside, this is a gorgeous deck that I'm really excited to connect with. So I will be sure to post a review probably next month for you guys, letting you know how it feels to work with her over a few week period. But my first initial impression is that it's a deck with a pretty big personality, so I'm excited to get to know it. Much love, many blessings, guys. See you in the next video.